Welcome to the top 10 most pulled comics for November 27th, 2024. I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content and you might like me helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, but you haven't hit that subscribe button, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit that. You're not going to be disappointed. So this is a video series where each and every week I share with you guys some of the comic books that people are most excited about buying. Where do I get this information from? Well, I get it from leagueofcomicgeeks.com, a great website to create your own pull list, whether it's monthly or weekly, however you want to do it. It's just a fun way to showcase what people are most excited about. It's not definitive sales, just remember that. So each week we always talk about the books that are on the outside looking in, and there's 5 of them. And the first book we're going to be discussing today is Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue 3, one of the longest titles out there. This book is pretty good. It's 32 pages for the price of $5. And this book, wow, man, at number 15, let me tell you, 4,687 pulls. That's pretty good. Writer here is Jeb Loeb. Art is done by Mark Chiarello. And this, like I said, this series has been pretty good. What's going to go on in this issue is it seems like we have Robin, who's going to team up with an unlikely ally, and it looks like Batman confronts a deadly specter from the past. So looks like maybe the plot thickens a little bit here. I wanted to know if you guys are still going to be continuing to read this, because there are a lot of comic books out there, and like I said before, this is going to be a heavy week, this holiday week, so be prepared to read. So the second book that's on the outside looking in goes to Flash. This is issue 15. This book is usually much higher. It's definitely dropped, or maybe it's because of all the other books that are coming out this week. Legacy numbering 815. This is 32 pages for the price of $4. And this book has 5,022 pulls. Writer is Simon Spurrier. The art is done by Vasquez Georgiev? I guess that's how you say it. The Flash moves between his new role on the Watchtower and the family vacation. He comes across an old foe in a surprising place. So I want to know if you guys are digging Flash with the new all-in initiative here with the series, or is it kind of the same? So let me know that in the comments below. Our third book that's on the outside looking in is The Incredible Hulk issue 19. Once again, this book is way higher on the list, but with all the books coming out this week, it is just much lower. It's not the strongest one there is. This is Legacy numbering 800. That's right, guys, celebrating 800 issues of the series. 64 pages for $8. And this story has to deal with Charlie, who is awakened once more. This book has 5,108 pulls. Is Charlie something more? Did she become the monster that she wished that she hoped to be at the beginning of this series? It's happy to have her back. We have the Hulk, who is captured by the eldest here. So hopefully the story progression moves forward and we get something that we truly want from this title. I felt like it's been a little bit dragged out, but hopefully the payoff is there by the time we get to the end of this series. And whenever the end of this series is, I have no idea. So if you guys know, let me know. Our fourth book that's on the outside looking in goes to Void Rivals issue 14. Surprised this is not higher, but I'll keep saying it. This is the narrative this week. A lot of more anticipated books, I would say. 28 pages for the price of $4. This book has 5,143 pulls. They're all around the same. Written by Robert Kirkman, and the art is done by Lorenzo Di Felici. Book is solid, man. I mean, you can't help that you get to see Transformers in this book. We get to learn about the races in this book, the uneasy alliance of Dorok and Zoella in here. Just how it's connected to the Energon universe is absolutely phenomenal. And of course, I cannot wait for this next issue. And finally, the last book that's on the outside looking in is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 4. My gosh, this week is stacked. 28 pages for the price of $5. This book does have 5,300 pulls. It's written by Jason Aaron. The art is done by Chris Burnham. Finally, we get to see what's going on with Donatello, because he was the first turtle that was teased in that free comic book day issue, and he was like held captive in a cage and forced to do fights, you know, for money and stuff like that. And it kind of got you as the reader excited about this series. So now I want to see what is in store for Donatello, how his brothers meet up with him, and how all 4 turtles get reunited once again. So officially kicking off this top 10 is Green Arrow. This is issue 18, legacy numbering 351, 32 pages, $4. Are you guys excited about the new creative team here? This book does have 5,864 pulls. It's written by Chris Condon, and the art is done by Montos. Obviously, a little bit different of a direction. This is going to be a much darker book, as Ollie is going to have to deal with a serial killer here. We're getting away from kind of the family aspect. I don't know if we're ever not going to see, you know, some family again, but I'm sure it's going to be mainly focused on Ollie going this point forward. So, you guys excited? Let me know. I'm surprised this book is not a little bit higher. This is already our second DC book in the top 10. And this one goes to Justice League Unlimited issue 1. I thought seriously this would be higher on people's list. It's 32 pages for the price of $4. This book does have 6,645. Not too shabby for a number 9 book. You know, usually it would probably be top 5, but again, with this week, there's great books written by Mark Waid, art done by Dan Mora. Yeah, this is it, man. We got the Justice League Unlimited. Were you guys familiar with that old 90s cartoon? It was a great cartoon. We got the Watchtower back. We got everybody and their mother is a Justice League member, including myself. I mean, shit, I got all the passes, bro. I got them all. I know everybody. I know Superman. Batman hooked me up with his pass. You know, I got my own pass right there. See, and then like freaking Wonder Woman hooked me up. It's cool to be friends with her. And you know, Darkseid, you know, did a counterfeit pass. So yeah, I mean, tell you, I'm Justice League, bro. I'm part of it. So are you guys excited? Let me know. Coming in at number 8 is the first Marvel book in the top 10. This is Ultimate Black Panther. This is issue 10. Still going strong here. People are still digging it. 32 pages for the price of $5. This book has 6,654 pulls, written by Brian Hill, and the art is done by Carlos Nito. For me, I felt like this book was just too slow for my taste, and I've told you guys before, I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan, so I did wind up dropping it, and I had to because, there's so many freaking books out there, and I decided to drop this one because, again, Black Panther's just not my favorite character. So there's got to be reasons, right? But I'm not saying that this story is poor. I know a lot of people are digging this story, and I want to know if you're enjoying it. Grabbing onto that 7th spot in our second Marvel book in the top 10. So DC and Marvel are neck and neck. It goes to Uncanny X-Men. This is issue 6. It's back to school for these young mutants that Gail Simone has introduced in the Uncanny X-Men book. This book has 8,746 pulls. Again, written by Gail Simone, art done by Javier Garrón. So the art is different in this issue. It's not done by Dave Marquez, so that's a change, and it seems like we're gonna get Gail Simone touching on these young mutants some more, like Calico, Death Dream, and the others in here, right? So this is what I was afraid of. I'm thinking that this is becoming more and more of these young new mutants than the mutants that we love. I don't have anything wrong with these characters maybe being in their own book and calling it New Mutants, right? I want to see the characters that I've always loved. We're getting introduced to so many New Mutants in this era of X-Men when a lot of people just want to see the mutants that they've always read. Am I wrong? If I am, just let me know in the comments below. Coming in at number 6, this is usually a top 3, top 4 book. It just missed the top 5 this time around. It's Action Comics, issue 1077, 36 pages for the price of $5. This book does have 8,855 pulls, written by Mark Waid, and the art is done by Clayton Henry. As we still have, I guess, Clark stuck in this Phantom Zone. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't been reading it since it's been weekly. But the important question is that I need to ask you guys here. Has this book been worth the $5 each week that it's been coming out? If you enjoy it, that's awesome. But I'm so curious to hear if it's worth it. Now on to the top 5. Here we go, guys. Just letting you know these are the heavy hitters. And it's sad to say that there are no independent comic books in this top 10 this week. That's kind of sad. Got to support those indies, right? All right, so coming in at number 5 is Superman issue 20, legacy numbering 863, 32 pages for the price of $5. This book has 9,162 pulls. Pretty solid for a number 5 book. This book is written by Joshua Williamson. The art is done by Dan Mora. Now, the cool thing about this comic is we get to see Doomsday come, right? And they're doing battle against Superman and Superwoman in this comic book. And then you get to see the Time Trapper. And if you saw the last issue, you kind of got to see a different version, I guess, of the Time Trapper. Pretty cool stuff here. I know this is a highly anticipated book. I am looking forward to this story. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Coming in at number 4 is the highly anticipated Absolute Wonder Woman issue 2. For a lot of you out there, you have said that this was your second favorite Absolute comic so far behind Batman. This is 28 pages for the price of $5. This book just falls short of the 10,000 mark at 9,957 pulls. Written by Kelly Thompson, and the art is done by Hayden Sherman. And in this issue, we wind up getting to see Diana go against the Beast, Harbinger Prime. I think we got to see her go against this creature in the last issue a little bit, and the last issue was focused more on kind of like the origin of Diana. Who is this creature? Where it's from? What's the purpose of this Absolute Woman comic book? Hopefully, Kelly Thompson will start to tell us that story in this second issue. Now on to the top 3. And this book is usually number 2 or number 1. Very rarely is it number 3. As bad as it can be, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 62, legacy numbering 956, 28 pages, $5. This book has 10,874 pulls. It is up. It was under the 10,000 mark when Zeb Wells was writing it. The writer here is Joe Kelly. The art is done by Ed McGuinness, who does a great job on the artwork. And we have this interesting story of Spider-Man who's got 8 deaths, and he has to kind of do his Sorcerer Supreme, and he has to go against the Scion of Sidorak, right? It's very, like, I don't know, magic stuff. And I'm not a magic guy, but the story is interesting, and it's way better than what we've been getting on Spider-Man in the past few years. And it's only fitting that this book is number 2 to the number 1 comic book, and number 2 goes to the original Robin himself. We have Nightwing issue 120, 32 pages for the price of $5. This book has 12,771 pulls, written by Dan Waters, and the art is done by Dexter Soy. So in this comic, we wind up getting to see probably the continuation of this character by the name, I think her name is Olivia Pierce, who's like this weapons distributor, and she's teaming up with the mayor, who is Nightwing's sister, I think, if I remember correctly, right, to try to protect Bloodhaven because it's really gone down the shitter. So we'll see how this story continues. Dan Waters is not like a very action-oriented guy, I don't feel, because in Destro and G.I. Joe, there wasn't a ton of action. So we'll see how this plays out. But I think people are kind of excited about this book, the new direction that it's going since Tom Taylor has left it. Remember, guys, after number 1, we are not done, as we have Spider Slayer's sleeper pick to discuss, because there's always a comic book out there that I think maybe you should read that's not on the highest pull tier, right? So, number 1 goes to the head honcho himself. This is Batman Detective Comics, issue 1091. It's 40 pages for the price of $5. This book has 13,086 pulls, done by the new creative team here, Tom Taylor and Mikhail Janin. A lot of people were like, holy cow, this new all-in initiative for Detective Comics is a breath of fresh air with Tom Taylor's story all connected to, Batman's past, to Thomas Wayne's actions that created the possible death of Bruce's parents. Like, so interesting, right? And then actually Batman thinking about taking this serum that could help him not stop his aging, but to prevent him from getting, older, faster, or maybe heal a little bit quicker because of this new chick that's been introduced into his world, right? So, I don't know, man. It was a great jumping on point, and I want to know if you guys liked it as well. And now it's time for Spider Slayer's sleeper pick, and this is a sleeper, guys. It's coming in at number 43. This is Hornsby and Halo. This is issue 1. This is from the Ghost Machine imprint. So why not give it a try? All their stuff has been really good. It only has 866 pulls. It is written by Peter J. Tomasi, who wrote the Rocket Fellas, right? The art is done by Peter Snageberg, if I said that right. So here's a little description. Keeping the cosmic peace isn't easy, but the opposing leaders of heaven and hell broker a deal that trades Zachary Halo, an angel child, to a demon family, and Rose Hornsby, a demon child, to an angel family. So it's like a foreign exchange thing, and hope that this truce will halt the winds of war. It's nature versus nurture as the turbulence of adolescence comes crashing down on two teenagers who have no idea who and what they truly are yet. So it could be a lot of fun. Peter J. Tomasi is a solid writer. Could have a little bit of lightheartedness in there. So I'm very much looking forward to this book. And I'm just letting you know, in a very heavy week, a book like this can get buried. So there you have it, guys. There are the most pulled comics for November 27th, 2024. Hopefully you guys are getting ready for a nice Thanksgiving. And as always, I'll leave you more content right here for you to click on. Support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting. But always remember, read those comics so we can have great comic conversation. And hopefully I'll see you on New Comic Book Day.